You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
To try to reduce penalties. And I got to tell you, when I first heard it, I don't like it.
I'm frightened. I'm frightened by that build-up.
Yeah, I don't like it. And maybe it'll work, whatever. I think you should be good enough to be able to continue to do these things and expect your guys to. But again, I think you're trying to. So what offensively, red zone wise, I think you may simplify. I think you may not switch out personnel groups. You may eliminate motion. You may eliminate a lot of the eye candy or bells and whistles and just say, let's just line up and go. Let's just line up and try to, keep it simple. And so we eliminate, we got to hold our stance for the motion to get across the field, or we're not going to, hey, you guys come off, you guys go in, and it's kind of out of the norm, and it's a specialty situation. And they're basically, I don't know to what extent, again, but it's kind of like, let's not do all of that stuff. Let's just line up and go and see if that works, and then we'll eliminate the penalties. I'd like to think that you can be good enough for everybody to handle all of those things, motions and whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think, but I get that's because that's what Joey said. He's like, man, I just think that let's eliminate a lot of the issues that maybe are causing us to shoot ourselves in the foot and holding our stance for much longer. Pulling in 3 or 4 guys off and going big or whatever. But I don't know. Are you good enough just to line up against an Arizona State or a BYU or maybe you are. And if you are, then you know what? Eliminate all the other stuff. I just hate that if you can't get into some – because at some point you need some sort of gadget or schematic advantage or – bigger people on the field, based on down and distance. So anyway, I don't know if I'm making sense what I said. But
you're making 1,000% sense, and that's a lot of sense.
Yeah, but I just I was like, okay, but that must mean that they think that this is we're doing more harm than good here. And if that's the case, then simplify, and simplify and just smash people in the mouth if you think you can do that and get after it. But I think that's kind of what you're and catch the football.
I like that as well. I do want to circle back a little bit more in full to what we are hoping to see offensively. Definitely going to have to revisit that. Curious to see if there is some simplification that could help them out, but I don't know pre-snap or otherwise how that does impact the hand status. So, let's table that for just a moment and definitely get back to it this week. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to take a listen again to Coach McGuire as well as the defensive coordinator, Shill Wood, talking about the plan of attack as they see it for Kansas coming up this week. Chris, sounds like it is a big, big film room kind of week for all involved as we get ready for this one. Here again is Coach McGuire.
They really attack your rules defensively, and they attack your eyes. There's so many times half rolls, tight ends sneaking under linebackers, and then they end up in that void. They create a lot of big plays with that. And then they've got a couple of good running backs that run really physical. So we've got our work cut out for us. I mean, this is I told the players yesterday after our practice, I was like, defensively, you can't watch enough film this week because they're motioning. That's another reason I think it's really important that our crowd focus when our defense takes the field, how loud we can be, because there's probably not many teams that move and shift more than they do. And that means when that happens, their offensive line's in their stance longer. And so we really can create some problems with how loud we are.
I think they're a really good group. I'm very impressed with them. I think they are assignment sound. I think they're tough and physical in the run game. They do a great job in pass protection, and their quarterback helps them in that regard as well in terms of being able to evade the rush. So I think they're a very good unit. Daniels is an outstanding quarterback. He can make all the throws, and then his legs are a tremendous asset to him. doesn't seem like they're trying to run him as much in these early ball games as Utah with Dampier, but he's got the ability to make you pay with his legs, whether that's a quarterback draw or a zone read scheme or some kind of design quarterback run with pullers. So he really is a dual threat guy, and he'll make us have to work this week. And we just got to do a great job from a communication standpoint. The best defenses do a great job communicating before the ball snapped and after the ball snapped. I think our guys have done a really good job of that thus far. They'll present a little bit bigger challenge from that standpoint, just having to, adjust in and out of some different checks that you might get into. But I think our guys will be up for the challenge and excited to face that this week during practice.
Definitely sounds like something unique to what they've seen so far this season, and maybe unique for the season overall, I guess.
Yeah, and I want to talk in one of the other episodes as we get going this week. I want to talk more about Daniels, but let's look at internally first. This is a different kind of challenge from Coach Wood and Coach McGuire to these guys on defense. I think basically he's saying, and they are saying, this is one of these where you need to learn a lot this week. Let's find out how you hear about the man. He's a pro. He acts like a pro. This is part of that. And they're doubling down on that this week because Andy Kotelnicki used to be the OC at Kansas a couple years ago. He's now at Penn State. And, this is going to be so that this is kind of where they've gotten a lot of this. This is similar to what Iowa State does. There was some of the Utah kind of thing here, but this is a lot of eye candy. This is a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of basic plays run out of every different kind of formation and moving guys over and shifts and motions and all that stuff. And it's basically just trying to distract you, or get somebody confused. They move them over here to over here, and it's like, oh, well, I thought you had that gap. No, when they were over here. I mean, that's all it's doing. And so you're really trying to test the intelligence of the defense and then catch them slipping. And so that's why, this is all stuff that'll be worked on all this week. I think that you've got very intelligent linebackers that it really falls on them and the safeties as much as anything. And that's a test that I'd be willing to think that you can pass with flying colors. But the Daniels component is there's a wild card here, and we'll get into that later on in the week. But I do like that each week it poses a different challenge or series of challenges. I really think the challenge this week, I'll go A, B, and C. I think Joey's legitimately challenging this fan base, to answer the bell. Man, I've been where it happened, and I know this crowd's been great, and we love them. But I'm being specific on when I want you to have fun and yell and do it under the lights and all the things. I think that he is challenging his defense to be very well studied this week. I mean, and this is intentional, when you say. And then I think the challenge will be really program-wide. This involves Barron. This involves Coach McGuire. This involves everybody. Don't get so juiced up that you continue to shoot yourself in the foot, and you need to take advantage of a home environment and continue to, rise up, because it is, as you mentioned, you've climbed up that hill so many times, and then you fall back all the way down, right. and then it takes a while to climb back up again. This is kind of one of those, keep climbing, man. Don't give anything back. So that's the challenges, in A, B, and C as I see it.
Yeah, and I like, as you said a little bit earlier in our conversation, set up next week to then be the biggest game of the Joey McGuire era via a win here this Saturday, and you just keep probably exponentially kind of growing as far as that hype train, or whatever way you want to describe it, is concerned, which is a fun one to ride so far. And Chris, we do know a little bit more about next week. Was curious to get a thought from you before we wrap it up on a 3:00 announced kick time in Tempe, Arizona. It ain't quite breakfast in Salt Lake City, but given the vibes in Tempe, I bet there's plenty of Sun Devils rolling out of bed around 3 o'clock. So I don't know, man. Better than Under the Lights, I suppose. What'd you think? First, today's episode brought to you by Mazda. And Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. They follow what moves them every time they drive. And that's what makes Mazda stand out. They go beyond safety, style, and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every detail. And with Mazda, your family's safety is number one. And that's why Mazda's won more 2025 IIHS Top Safety Pick awards than anybody else. And Mazda offers more than safety with smooth handling, intuitive controls, and standard all-wheel drive in every crossover SUV. It's the small details that make the big plays. And just like there's more to every player, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Today's episode brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all the money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it can be easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. You're going to love the all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money today. Use our code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com and our code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for half off your first year.
Well, yeah, and that's 3 o'clock Central Time. That's actually 1 o'clock Tempe time. So I think you catch a massive break. I really do. I think you catch a massive break. That this is mid to early part of the day. I think it could be a bit warmer then. We'll see because even in October, it's hot in the desert. They weren't I don't think they were gonna stash this game like at 9 o'clock at night or anything like that. There could be potentially too much on the line here, especially with you being ranked in the top 10. And as they make these selections, you're favored by double digits in a home game. So you would TV execs would think that, they're Texas Tech is likely to hold serve. So we'll see. But I think this is a positive. I think this is a big time positive. I didn't hate it. I'll tell you that. And it has nothing to do with, but may have something to do with, I won't get home at like 6 a.m. Because I'll tell you right now, if you say, hey man, you're going to win, but you're going to get home at 6 a.m, sign me up every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And it would have been on Sunday that I would have gotten home. But the fact that you catch them maybe when it's just not as peak. Because let's be honest, Kansas, you need to be worried about Jalen Daniels. You need to be worried about Lance Leipold. It's the same kind of dynamic that you're worried about Houston. But Kansas could be walking into a Hornets nest this weekend.
Buzz, baby. Let's go. We're ready. I think the Red Raiders will answer the call. Tough over the years to take direction and get real organized in this way. But I think maybe we're ready. This is the weekend. We get organized. We get loud. We are jamming at the Okay. I don't want to put too much before it. Yeah. Let's just show up first and everybody get into the building on time. How about that? Ready to roll. All right, Chris. Appreciate your time as always, my man. The insight and perspective as well. And looking forward to the next one. So we'll see you then.
Yeah, sounds good, man. And try. I'm going to try not to take it personal. I know you aren't either, Cowan, but we all got called out a bit. So we will all try to do our part. Coach, we got you, man. And I think all 60+ thousand, they've got you too. So message was heard, message was sent, message was regurgitated here and sent back out. And so we'll do our part, and I know that these guys will be ready. So here we go.
That's Regurgitation Holmes. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be, and get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Thanks to the Everydayers for always being out there. And of course, the Matador Mob. Get our show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial. If you're interested in joining that crew, it's your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one texts and straight to your phone. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time. We hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.